Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today I'm going to be doing a review of Pillars of Heracles by AP Games. This is a 1 to 5 player with expansion deck building area control game that takes place in ancient times. They're in the ancient Greek city-states when they're all clashing against each other either in the Mediterranean or the Aegean Sea. So this was one of my most anticipated games this year. I got it a few months ago. We played it a few times. Now I'm ready to finally do my review. This game is not as light as it may seem. There's a lot going on here. It has a little bit of 4X elements to it. I wouldn't call it a 4X game. That's why I'm calling it a deck building area control. Again, I'm very excited about the theme when I saw it last year on Kickstarter. I love anything ancient Rome, ancient Greece, any ancient theme, and of course deck building area control. Those are my two favorite mechanisms combined in one game. So I jumped on this. I could not wait for it to come out. So it's finally here. Played it a few times, and I'm ready to finally give my review to you guys. So let's get to the table. I'm going to give you a very brief how to play. Again, just go over the basic mechanics. Again, because I can't go over everything. It'll be here too long. So let me show you how to play, and then I'm going to let you know what I finally think about it. Okay, so this is how Pillars of Heracles is going to be set up. I'm just going to give you a very basic rundown of how this game works because there is a lot going on here. Now, you're going to start off with your city. You're going to choose where you want. So I have Syracuse. Normally, you would have 2 ships here, 2 workers, 2 hoplites, and then your buildings here. You have your temples, your agora, and your citadels. But again, I have them laid out here. I'm showing you the wooden components. I do have the miniatures, and I'll explain why I'm showing you with the wooden components in a bit. But it is a little bit more difficult to distinguish the buildings with the miniatures. Again, not that big of a deal. And also, what I want to bring up is you normally would start, if you want, with a certain hero. But that is a module that is added. I'm going to be showing you the hero module and the siege. I'm sorry, not the siege. The skirmish module. There's also an Atlantis module, which puts Atlantis in the middle of the sea. But again, I'll leave that for you guys to figure out yourself. I'm just giving you a basic rundown of the game. So normally these will be placed. There'll be 3 of them: age 1, 2, and 3 in each of these areas. And there'll be randomly put these random tracks here. So like, oh, this one's a cornucopia. Forgot what this one's called, but every game they're randomly placed across each region. So these are tracks that you can move up to. Now, normally you have these little discs that will track here, so like this, but they would normally, you would have one on every single track. The one where you have your main city, you will automatically go up 1, and that will show you the resource. So this one's represented by wood. So that is the resource that you need to spend in order to go up on that track. Again, I will go over all that later. Everyone is going to start with their deck of cards. And there'll be more cards, again, you can buy, because this is also a deck building game. And these are the mythology cards. I'll go over them in a bit. So let's just say I picked Odysseus. Again, the hero minis look amazing. So normally he would be put right here. It would cost 2 gold to put him on your map into your city. On the base game, they just have regular standees for the heroes. Again, not a big deal. So on your turn, you're going to start with 5 cards in hand. And what you're going to do is you're going to play a card for its power. But you also could play them for the resource to spend to get money. And usually it would have an action. But so what I'm doing with this power here is this allows me to move on this track. So this is 1 power. It will move me up 1. And this would allow me to buy cards. I can either buy monument cards or I can buy character cards. Now, monument cards give you victory points, as you can see right here at the end of the game, for having them in your discard or whatever, just owning them. And again, some of them do give you abilities and a lot of power points. So now there are different actions here on the rondel, and there are also ways that you can either give -1 power or +1 power if you ever want to go up on the rondel an extra step. So let's go over what each one does. So like this one here allows me to buy cards. I would have to pay the resource that's right there, and I also may exile a card, which is to clear your deck out, if I buy a character card. Again, they each give you resources but these are also their costs, and they give you a special ability as well, and of course the action points. For the monuments, you would have to spend an additional marble or wood to purchase them, aside from what they cost. So they're a little bit harder to get. And again, they will be put into your hand when you purchase any of these cards. The next one is deploy. So if you see here, these are the costs to deploy a ship, a worker, and a hoplite. And they require these buildings, but they all can be placed into your city. Again, the retail version has a little cardboard piece. I'm just showing you the mini. That is the temple. That is, these are used, I'll just go over in a little bit what they're used for, but those are, excuse me, those are used in the settle action. Those are pillars. Of course, you have your ships. We have a hoplite, looks like this. You have your citadel and the agoras. So the ships can be deployed in temple areas right there. They will be put here in the port. And then you have workers that will be put in the agoras right there. Or again, the city and your hoplites will be put in your citadels, which are those right there. Again, these are the costs. So like 2 marble, 2 wood. And again, there are 2 ways to pay for this. You can pay from discarding cards from your hand that have the symbol. And if you see here, normally you will see these resources on, but you will always have a starting resource in the city. Whenever you explore, you flip these over and they will have a resource there. So let's say if I say I had a pillar there, I had controlled this area, I could put this pillar here to spend the resource. And again, I can refresh that later on, and I'll go over how that works. But I just say I have usually in your city, you always start with a pillar and you would have a starting resource. But that is the deploy action. So you would deploy your soldiers, workers, ships, or again, into any area there that you control. And when you control an area, you have the most people there. And you gotta have your own building there as well. And you can't have 2 of the same building in the same land area. Each region contains 3 land areas. The next one here is building the buildings, okay? So you can build a city, which would cost 4 of those. In the deluxe version, you would just take one of these and put your disc on it, or you can get the cardboard piece, put it on, and put your disc on top. So that is how building works. I just showed the same thing. And then the next one is settle. So settle is how you get these pieces here. Now, each area is going to have these population tokens. When you go into an area, you will flip this over along with the resource. So this one means there's 3 population, meaning I have to have 3 or more power in that area to take it over and get whatever is on here. So this is a wild resource. So I will put it next to my board and I can spend it later on. Again, there are several others. Sometimes you'll have barbarians. If you defeat the barbarians, you go up 1 on the track in the region you defeated them in. So that is the settle. And again, they put your pillars which help you use the resources. And then the last one is ascend. So this is where you can refresh, or you can go up on the track. So you will pay any resource. So like, let's say I want to pay 1 wood to go up that. It would give me the character card. The second time I go up, I have to pay 2 wood, and I would have my movement speed increase. And again, every single one is different. This one gives power, one extra power to each figure or building. This helps you with your hand limit. And this also helps you move across the rondel. So if I want to add another one or minus another one, that's what it would do. This one right here gives me the random resources and also helps me with get these powerful cards. Now, at the beginning of the game, you could only have 1. If you want to get 2 more of those cards, you have to build 2 more temples. Again, I'll go over those in a little bit. But that is essentially all the tracks. Now, that's how one way a game is going to end. So if a player controls 6 cities during their turn, or players have reached the end of the track equal to the player count. So if you're playing with 3 players and you've reached the end of the track in 3 of those areas, you end the game. Or there's error 3 of these cards are gone. And again, I'll go over those in a bit. So let's talk about movement. So we all start off with 2 movement at the beginning of the game. Any turn action that you take, you can always move your worker or hoplite or ship 1 space. Workers give you 1 power. Hoplites give you 2. Let me move this guy a bit. Ships give you 1 power in the sea and 2 power when they are docked. Citadels give you 3 power, and buildings give you 1 power each as well. And that will help in combat when you're trying to defend your city or your land region. So I can, like I said, I can move him twice if I want to. If I had a ship that was, let's say a ship in this area, this acts as a bridge. So I can do this, so this counts as 1. Does not count as a movement. That's what helps me cross over. Again, there's also little bridges that would help you cross into the area that you want to go to. And again, anytime I move into an area that has a resource token, I will flip it along with the population token. Again, every single one will be filled with the population tokens. There is a barbarian module as well, which has the barbarians come and ransack your city. Again, I'm not showing that one, as I'm showing you the cooler ones, if you ask me. Now, let's just say I wanted to attack my opponent. Let's say he was here and he had a building. Now, that's what the skirmish token here does. So let's say if I was here, I end my turn and I had placed my skirmish. You also have your siege token, which helps you gain control. So now at the end, at the beginning of your turn, you always do a status check. So what that does is if you have a siege tile down, you'll replace the pillar or take over the city if you control the space, meaning you have the most power. So on your turn, you can play your power cards depending on how many hoplites you have. So right now I only have 1, so I can only play 1 card and add its power to mine. And then your opponent will do the same as well, depending on how many hoplites they have in that area as well. Also, you have to check for domination, but before that, the siege makes you take over the city or the pillar, and you replace it with your own. So that's what the siege does. The skirmish now, which is a module that adds to it, is pretty much the same thing, but you declare what you're attacking. So you can say you're attacking a building, or a figure, and once that you do the same thing. You play power cards depending on your hoplites, and if you win, you remove that certain building or figure. Then after that, you will look for domination. So if you control a land space where another player has a pillar, building, or city, you're going to progress once on that region track. And then you will look at consolidation. If you control 3 or more land spaces with the same icons, so you have cornucopia, you have the Spartan, I forgot what that one's called, but if you control 3 areas with the same icon, you will progress on the tracks with that icon. So that happens at the start of every turn. Now, I showed you what the advanced turn does. That's essentially going on that. You can also take a replenish turn, which means you can replenish your hand size. You can discard your cards and draw back to your hand size. Or you can replenish your pillars, which you can also choose to do here if you want. But here, you can only choose if you want to do, you can do your hand or replenish the pillars. But that is a replenish turn, and you can energize your mythos cards. So if you have a mythos card, when you use it, you turn it on its side, and the way you could get it back. So for him, you have to spend 2 wine to refresh him. But again, these are the different mythos. They are all very powerful. Again, I'm not going to go over every single one, but they are abilities that you turn on the side, and they don't come back unless you pay for them. And again, you could have up to 3, but you need the 2 temples in order to have 3. So those are the mythos, and they all come in with different backgrounds, essentially. So I feel like there's some other things that I am missing. Again, you gain cities by going by the track, and that's what's most important, is because you gain glory for having each controlled city or region gives you 3 glory, and of course the prophecy cards and the monument cards, which the prophecy I did not go over. So this is just an example of a era 1. If I have 2 hoplites in this region at any time during my turn as a free action, I can take this and then it will go to the Era 2 card, and then whoever completes that goes to the Era 3. So that is essentially the game. Again, I didn't go over every little thing because there is a lot. Of course, your cities give you powers. And one last thing are these special tiles here. Anytime you complete a row here, you would take the tile of that choice and it gives you a passive ability. You just slide it right in here. But that is Pillars of Hercules. Let me get back and I'll let you know what I think. Okay, so one thing I didn't show you was the map is two sides. I showed you the Mediterranean side. On the other side is the Aegean Sea when you have the Greek Isles. This is the map I preferably play on. Both of them are just as good. They both play for 5 players. But I wanted to show you the easier map to show. I didn't show you the Atlantis module, and I didn't show you the Barbarians module. To me, those are great. I just wanted to show you the basic ones that maybe people will be more interested in, such as the Skirmish and the Heroes, which I would never not play with. Again, of course, those act as regular units. They all have their special abilities. I didn't bring them on the table. Again, because I was just giving you a brief rundown because there is quite a bit going on. So let's go into that first thing. There's a lot going on in this game. The rulebook is not bad. I feel like it tried to crunch too much in a few pages. And it's very easy to miss certain rules, such as the domination and the domination stuff at the beginning of your turn when you do the status check. So it's very important to do those status checks because that's what also speeds the game up a bit as well. So rulebook, it's not bad. It's not the best, but it's functional. We got through it. We caught on pretty quickly, but there are things that you can miss in your first game. Second, time. Your first game is going to take a while, but the box here says 90 to 120 minutes. Once everybody knows what they're doing, you can really play this game a lot quicker. Again, because of those the tracks, going up on the tracks, trying to complete the errors as well. The cities might take a little bit longer, especially if people are playing more mean and take that when you're attacking each other. But yeah, your first game is going to take about 3 hours because there is a lot to remember, there's a lot to figure out. But time, yeah, once everybody knows what they're doing, this is a 90 to 120 minute game. Again, I do have the 5th player expansion. I do not know if I will ever want to play this with 5 players. I think it might take too long. It'll definitely go over 120 minutes. But I do think 3 and 4 is the sweet spot for this game. I would not want to play with anything less. There is a solo and a cooperative mode. I'm not even going to bother with that. I want to play the competitive mode. So, yeah, there is a 5th player expansion. I don't think I'm ever going to touch that. I think this is a 3 to 4 player game, and that's the way it should be played. Again, opinions may differ. I will say this though, the turns are quick. You are going to have some AP, but the turns do play quick. You play that card, you move the rondel, and you take your action. That's it. You move a little bit. There might be some free actions, again, they are all quick. So the turns play quickly. There's not like a bunch of things that you have to do. Again, unless somebody has AP and they're looking at every little thing, then yeah. But I do like that the turns play quickly. Gameplay now. So this is depending on who you're playing with and the module you're playing with. I do like the siege and the skirmish. I will never not play with skirmish. I love destroying somebody's unit or temple. But here's the thing with it. It's not as mean as it sounds, because what happens is you're letting your opponent know, I'm attacking you next round. I'm going to siege and I'm going to skirmish. So it gives your opponent some time to plan for that. So maybe they'll be like, you know what? I don't stand a chance against this guy. I'm going to move my units out. He's probably going to end up destroying my building. But what am I going to do? I could plan elsewhere. Some might be like, all right, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to go. Let's go. The combat's very clean. Again, like I said, you count up all the units that are there, the buildings, and you play your power cards. And you should know what your opponent should have in their hand, judging by what they are buying. So again, you don't know when they have. You're gonna see some of those character cards and those monument cards are gonna have 4 and 3s. I think the highest I saw was four power points. So again, it's not like you're getting it. It's coming out of nowhere. You don't know what to expect. You know what your opponent more or less has in their hand because you all have the same starting cards, and it's not hard to forget what cards your opponent is buying. So it's not like you going in blindsided. But here's the other thing also. This is not a game where you just want to try to expand and destroy everybody. You don't want to leave your cities or your land areas unattended to. You want to make sure they are well defended because somebody comes in, they're going to easily take it over, especially with the siege. They remove your pillar, they're taking over your resource now. Your cities are crucial. You want to protect those cities, and you want to control those regions because there are error cards later on that come in like error 3 that allow you to take the card when you control every single land area in that region. So you really want to play defensively as well. And you want to be smart when attacking. There's not going to be a lot of combat. There's going to be a lot of getting in other people's faces because you might be fighting for the same region. But it's not, again, entirely like take that. Wow, like all right, you screwed me over. There is a very good catch-up mechanism if you play it right. Again, if you don't defend your cities, you're gonna be screwed. So there is. I want to say if you're looking for a very mean game, this is. I wouldn't say very mean, yeah, but it is in your face. Which is what I like. Combat was very, very clean, very simple, and very quick. Those mythology cards, some of them are super OP. And that's one thing that people are going to look at and they're like, why? These cards are crazy overpowered. But, oddly enough, everything still felt well balanced. I had one player, he was getting his butt whipped. He had all these crazy OP cards, he was using it. I'm sorry, excuse me. No, somebody else had these OP cards, but nobody ever felt like they were behind because, again, those cards, they don't give you victory points. Yeah, they give you these crazy special abilities, but it also costs a lot to bring them back. So it's not too overpowered. Also, that we had one player, he was left with like maybe one or two land spots in a region. He was getting his butt whipped. But I believe he still came in first place at the end of the day because of those error cards and because of some of the cities and some of the monument cards that he was purchasing. So there is a very good catch-up mechanism. You never feel behind. And it's, again, the main way to get those points is from having those cities. They do help a lot, but you really want to pick up those monument cards as well. Another thing, this game is going to play different every single time. The replayability is so high because you have 2 maps. Those tracks are always going to be different every game. And like I said, like they all do different things. Like they help you move, give you more movement points. They give you more power to your buildings depending on which track you go up to. And it all depends on which region you're going into. So there is a lot of replayability here, which is a big plus in my book. Theme, I thought theme was not bad. It was pretty good. Again, you have all the Greek heroes, you have all the cities, Greek city-states and stuff. So I think the theme was very good. And of course, you saw by how to play, this game looks great on the table. This is a beautiful looking game. The miniatures, they're not that big of a deal. I think the nicest part were the cities and the heroes. The heroes looked awesome, but the buildings, we had a hard time distinguishing what is what. I thought it was more easier to figure out with the wooden meeples which building was which because they look completely different from the wooden meeples. Again, not a big deal. I mean, we figured it out now. I mean, I'll never play without the minis, but you don't need them. Again, whatever you have in the base box here is functional. It is fine. Still looks good on the table. So, with all that said, I absolutely love this game. It only took a year to get here. and it was worth the wait. This is a fantastic game. Is it going to be for everybody? No. Some people might feel it could be a little slow. Again, it does start off slow because you're trying to expand your city-state. You're trying to get into different areas. The game then really picks up once people start expanding, because now you're being incentivized to attack other players. You need to attack other. You're gonna have to attack other players because you want to take over those areas. Because if you're gonna just stay in your one city in your one region, you're not gonna win this game. It incentivizes you to attack other players, get in their face, but at the same time, it's not too mean. You don't hinder them that much, because again, they could always try and take it back later on. But again, that's where the defense comes in. You have to defend your areas and cities very well. You have to know that people are going to come after you. They're going to come after those cities because those are what's going to give them the victory points. So you have to defend well. You have to strategize well. How am I going to expand? These are all things that I love. I'm really surprised that nobody's talking about this game enough. Again, I think the biggest issue was trying to remember the rules. Again, it is straightforward, but there's little things that you can miss. I wish the rulebook was a little bit better. Everyone I played with really liked it. I'm probably the one that liked it the most. They all said that they would, if offered, they would always play this game. That again, those are all my positives, and those are all not that many negatives. Again, like I said before, there might be some people who find it to be a little too slow, but this game has life. To me, replayability has always been the biggest thing when it comes to purchasing these games. This game has some of the best replayability I have seen. Every game is going to play so much differently because of all those city-states that you can choose from. Because the way that the tracks can be placed, you have the different error cards. You have the other side of the map, which gives you a whole different strategy on how to expand and how to defend yourself. Final score. I was struggling with this. I wanted to give this game a 10 out of 10. The only reason I'm not giving it a 10 out of 10 is because of the rulebook. Again, the rulebook it's not entirely bad. I wish it was a little bit better. But I'm ultimately coming in at a 9.5 out of 10. I am absolutely in love with this game. This game is amazing. Again, because of the theme. I love the theme. I love the deck building and the area control. I didn't go over the deck building enough, but it is, again, I remember when this first came out, people were comparing it to Dune Imperium. This is nowhere close to Dune Imperium. This is its own game. Everything in this game works. It feels well balanced. It doesn't. Those mythology cards do not feel. They are overpowered, but they don't really help the person run away with the game. Every game I have played, the scores were really close. The last game I played, I think the two guys ahead, they won. The guy he won by 1 point, and we were all very close to each other. Yeah, this is a 9.5 out of 10. This is an incredible game. Yeah, if you love the Greek theme, you're gonna Greek ancient theme. You're gonna love this deck building, area control. You gotta get your hands on this game. Really glad to have it in my collection. It might be in my top 10 games next year. We'll see, maybe. But truly a fascinating game and one I think you all should check out. That's going to do it for today, folks. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like it if like this video. It helps a lot. Subscribe. And also, if you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comment section. Again, this was a game I bought. This was not sent for review. So, again, and even if a game was sent for review, I'm always brutally honest. And I tell every single company and developer that sends me games that I'm going to be brutally honest in the review. So this, again, even just whatever out there, people think that this is, even if it's a paid review, I'm always going to be brutally honest, even if it's a first impressions or whatever. Go out, play this game, go out and buy this game. It is amazing. Again, that's going to do it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video.